Oh, well, this is live from QNAP headquarters at Taipei, Taiwan. I'm Michael, and today again, it's my pleasure to have our Vice President in Research and Development, YT, with me. Hi, YT.
Hi, everyone.
And today we are going to talk about our QTS 4.3.4 release, and we are already roll out our beta program for both ARM-based NAS and the Intel and AMD-based NAS for users to try. And today we are going to talk a little bit about the previous content we already mentioned and adding some new features and the support for the Intel and AMD-based NAS. So YT, can you give us a quick recap about this update and the concept of the update and what's new about the Intel and AMD-based NAS?
Okay, no problem. So let's see the presentation for you. Okay, so just like last time we discussed, we emphasize and focus on the fundamental and the basic of storage. But actually, for this time, we also enable the support of QTS 4.3.4 on Intel and AMD-based NAS. So that's why we have more features like the GPU features in this version. So let me explain about those features. As a basic data storage is very important. So this version of QTS 4.3.4, we enable and equipped with the brand new storage and snapshot manager. So even just like previous time, we have ARM-based NAS enabled, but for the Intel and the AMD-based NAS, we have more and more strong features and performance on it. Of course, even we have a snapshot, but we still like to have backup to other place. So we have hybrid backsync. It's a single portal to backup and manage all the data from NAS to NAS to local server to local PC or even to the cloud. And all the snapshot and the backup files can be managed by all-in-one file station. The file station integrates everything, all the operations, including those features and also the amount of mobile phones. And of course, for multimedia features, we also equip with the VLC video playback plugin. So we can use NAS to stream the media files and decode by your laptop or your PC to leverage the computing power or decoding power of your PC. And finally, even in Intel and AMD NAS, we still have QBoost. The QBoost function can maximize the application performance and also optimize the usage of resources on NAS.
So these are some features we already talked about last time, and with this update for the Intel and AMD-based NAS, we also add the GPU support, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we equip with the discrete GPU inside the NAS with the PCIe Express slot. So by using the GPU inside the Intel and AMD NAS, we can have it the video playback function and the transcoding function with more powerful GPUs, and also the virtualization features for the GPU. That means you can also put the GPU to be passed through into the virtual machines to perform near the full function and full performance for the NVIDIA GPUs. So that means you can have the GPU support in the virtual machine to perform like gaming or graphic design or even video editing inside the virtual machines.
So with more support, our NAS will be more powerful. But this time we focus on the basic of what a NAS should be, what kind of characteristics a NAS, a storage device, should have. So regarding to this aspect, can you share with us?
Yeah, exactly. Just like I mentioned before, we more focus on the basic of data storage. So performance and the stability is the key. So in QTS 4.3.4, we still emphasize on the support of our own technology on snapshot and also the leverage of the mature ext4 file system. So still back to our reason. Actually, about 2 years ago, we already have a evaluation on BTRFS, and we found some weakness during the evaluation, and also still continue to dig out the possibility to improve it during the past maybe a couple of months. But we still found because high performance is not guaranteed in BTRFS, but it's still a very important feature for NAS, because NAS need to be shared among a lot of users, and also because ext4 already mature enough, and for BTRFS we get some unstable, especially on the management of user data. So after our analyze on this, we saw two different drawbacks on the BTRFS file system. First, BTRFS file system degrade the performance a lot. Even we utilize the very high-end machine to test it, but still cannot get full potential for most major hard drives. And even hard drive is getting faster and faster. So the performance of typical 6 terabyte, 8 terabyte, or even a 10 terabyte hard drive already 200 megabyte per second or more. And even the nowadays we have SSD support, and more people choose SSD to support their database or virtualization applications. And the SSD performance itself, even single SSD for the 2.5-inch one can achieve more than 400 megabyte per second. And for the NVMe, PCIe-based NVMe SSD, it can also achieve more than 2,000 megabyte per second. That means the BTRFS file system cannot support such kind of high performance. And also the manageability for BTRFS, it mixes the snapshot and the iSCSI long, and also the user data inside a volume. That means all the data the space will be occupied by each party, but it's not easy to manage it. So we will show you later on all the evidence, and also what we see in the drawback of BTRFS.
So last time you shared with us some test results from a local community, and that's already 2 or 3 weeks ago. So for the past 2 or 3 weeks, I read they have some new test results.
Yeah,
you can share with us.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, this time we try to find some more data, not only on Facebook, but we also found it on YouTube. So we found it in NASPK World in YouTube, and we found a very interesting performance test between our TS127070. This model is AMD-based NAS equipped with 8 GB memory and ext4 file system. And also we have the counterpart is Synology DS3018XS. It's also 8 GB memory and the BTRFS. To achieve the maximum performance of those Intel and AMD based NAS, we saw the test change to 10 gigabit Ethernet by using Samba and with 6 hard drives as a rate. So the time to copy 3,000 files, those files are the typical photo files between 3 to 5 megabyte in size. And we can see in TS1277, the total copy time is around 44 seconds. And in DS3018XS, it costs more, almost twice about time. So TS1277 is about 60% faster than the similar grade of competitor NAS. So we can see the performance is totally different. Yeah.
Actually, I personally find this number very interesting because we use a lot of test utility or software to do all these tests, but the user have their own perspective. They do their things their way. So
Yeah.
they come up with some interesting number actually.
Yeah, actually, because we usually use iometer or we use some other benchmark utility, but the owner of NAS PKWord, they just use copy because it's a typical way and the most common way for user to use NAS. Yeah, and besides the test between QNAP and Synology, we also found a very interesting result on the design of Synology itself. So we found the data also on NAS PKWord. We can see the DS118 is the just released ARM-based NAS from Synology. It only equipped 1 GB memory and it can only support ext4. And we also have the number from DS3080. So it's equipped with 8 GB memory, but BTRFS. But still, we use a copy file into those two different NAS, and we can see the number. For DS118, it costs around 200 seconds. And for DS3018XS, is about 256 seconds. So even in the same architecture, even in the same design and the same vendor, but a low-end NAS, ARM-based NAS versus Xeon-D-based NAS, but still ext4 is high, 33% higher than the Intel-based NAS. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I agree. It's very interesting because usually you would think that even for Follerstein company, the entry level models and the high end levels, they usually the high end level should get a better result, faster speed, and less time it took for copying files. But we got an opposite result from the community.
Yeah, it's weird, but still, we think it's also a drawback of performance on BTRFS. So we can see a big gap between ext4 and BTRFS. Yeah, but performance is one of the key. But we still need to focus on the how to manage it, and also because the reason why Synology choose BTRFS is for the purpose of snapshot. So let's see how end user can manage the space occupied by snapshot, by iSCSI or by the user data. As open source based implementation of BTRFS, it comes as it is. So all the things put together into a single space. So the system administrator, even the end user, cannot estimate when the space will be exhausted. So in this test, we found from Facebook, we can see in left hand side is QNAP NAS with our QNAP in-house developed ext4 snapshot mechanism store out the data outside volume, so it can be managed. And in the right hand side is the Synology NAS, which equipped with BTRFS. And we copy a lot of file and take snapshot, and then copy again, then delete again, then finally with the same space in QNAP NAS is still there and can still finish the copy and file transfer operation. But in Synology NAS, very soon it failed to transfer. So in QTS snapshot, space usage will not be interfered by the data and also by the snapshot. But for Synology DSM, the snapshot space cannot be controlled, and the snapshot also affect the data storage. So end customer don't know when their space will be used by the snapshot.
I believe they have their reasons of choosing BTRFS, but at QNAP we just choose to stay with ext4 for better performance and better protection of our files. I guess that's just a difference in the design concept, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I think that's why we focus on the performance and the stability. We try to find a balance between that, but not only for the very stable one, but a very low performance.
So with all this foundation and basics, we try to improve. We are coming up with more interesting applications and more possibility with our NAS, including the GPU application.
Yeah, exactly.
So with this new development, do you have any visions, or what do you expect that this support for GPU can do in QNAP NAS?
Yeah. So because we think NAS is an aggregator of data, so all the data, including the typical file storage or photos, pictures, and we also think more and more IoT related data will be collected into NAS, and even the NAS itself can perform some AI, machine learning, deep learning features inside, but it's not sufficient to use a typical CPU. So that's why we leverage the GPU. And the GPU, we choose NVIDIA GPU because NVIDIA is a king of AI machine learning now. So after we introduce the GPU support for our AMD and Intel-based NAS, we can have more and more application inside our NAS to act as a central of data storage and data computing.
All right, YT, thank you for sharing with us about your vision to the development of a future NAS.
Thank you.
So right after your introduction, we will have multiple product manager to share with us about the details of this update, right?
Yeah, exactly. And including, of course, including a GPU demonstration.
Yeah, sure. We'll be talking about that later. So thank you, YT, for sharing with us.
Okay, thank you.
Right now, please stay with us for a minute or two because we need to set up our presentation environment and for the change of our speakers. So stay with us. Thank you. Welcome back. Now I have our product manager Repo with me. Hi, Repo.
Hi, hello everyone.
Repo is in charge of many of our important storage features, right?
Yes.
So YT just mentioned that this time we focus on the essence, the basic of a storage device.
Yes.
So now you are going to share with us different features and the new stuff into the QTS 4.3.4, right?
Yes.
All right, let's go.
And okay, so first of all, I want to share with all about our latest change in 4.3.4 is regarding snapshot. And we are thinking about how to secure our customer data. And the major improvement we are done in Storage Manager is that we change Storage Manager into Storage Snapshot, and we highlight the snapshot function for all the Intel or AMD NAS users. Why we do this change is because that as everyone knew recently on the news that ransomware is become more and more dangerous to whatever IT or even homes user, because whatever your precious picture, video, or company's data can all be encrypted by ransomware, and that's not what we as a storage vendor wish this condition happen on our customers' environment. So that's why we focus our improvement on snapshot.
All right, cool.
Okay, so first of all, just also mentioned by our Vice President YT is that the reason why we don't choose BTRFS, as most IT people, you will know that BTRFS is native support snapshot function. But why QNAP we support, why we develop snapshot function on EST4 by ourselves? The reason is that, just as you see from the slide, just in this month, the famous Linux hardware reviewer has given a new report about different file system performance on storage device. And you can see even in the latest report, BTI-based file system, this is random write performance is still very low compared to the other file system.
Yeah, I've read this days before. And that's very impressive because the difference between BTRFS and other file systems are huge.
Yes.
For most of results, BTRFS falls way behind.
Yes. From the beginning, we already observed that BTRFS might have such a risk. Even we can do a lot of software improvement on the management interface or, for example, function, but we believe that the fundamental regarding file system, regarding the performance, cannot be changed easily. So we believe that develop snapshot feature on a mature file system, EST4, as our currently used, is a more suitable solution for both business and home user.
Definitely.
Okay. Another reason is also as YT mentioned is that we want to develop our own snapshot feature because we want to have a total control over what value we can deliver to our customer. As previously mentioned, well, if we use BTRFS with snapshot, it's hard for user to control the space consumed by snapshot and causing some usage problem. That's also a reason that we choose to develop our own snapshot feature.
Again, I believe this is just a difference in our design concept with others, but we design in this way is to ensure the easy to manage, and the space you see is the space you can use, right?
Yes. So after discussing the fundamental difference, I think we can go to how snapshot can protect our users' data. So for lots of you who didn't hear snapshot before, why snapshot can protect our data from ransomware attack? As you can see from the slide, the fundamental feature of snapshot is a block level data protection method, which ransomware, for example, it will increment your data on file system. For example, you see any data, it just encrypt it and send a message for you like new pay. But actually, beside file system, they also have a lower layer. The lower layer, which is mean each data is being divided into several blocks, and data will be stored in different, for example, different disks and RAID group. And the snapshot is a function that allow the file be divided into different blocks and stored in the block level directly. So when ransomware try to change the data in file system, they cannot touch the data, the snapshot that's stored in the block level, which we call in our QNAP system we call it storage pool. So that is the major reason why snapshot can protect customers' data from ransomware attack. Okay, so after you understand the basic about snapshot, let's go to how what improvement we have done in the latest firmware. So in the latest 4.3.4, we provide a complete snapshot solution for both our customer, for our business and consumer-based customer. As you can see that in QNAP NAS, we provide whole volume snapshot, which means your sync volume, those space you use to store data. We also provide block level ASCII snapshot that can be utilized by hypervisor or the other database. And also from previous user feedback that despite SPN, we recommend users to use block level ASCII for performance and the other consideration. But file-based LAN is also important for some users to utilize volume space. And right now in 4.3.4, we also support using volume snapshot to protect the file-based LAN.
So we provide a lot of ways for users to choose from. We don't limit them, we just offer them a lot of choices.
Yes, so what I want to mention is that compared to the other vendor that only support special type of volume or LAN can support snapshot, all of the volume and ASCII LAN, of course, except from the volume like steady volume that don't have a storage port protection, and then all the other volume and LAN will be protected by our complete snapshot solution.
Very good.
Okay. So another major improvement we have done recently is that, as you might have heard of that, we have provided snapshot feature on the ARM-based model, is that we have reduced the memory requirement for using snapshot. Not only on NAS on ARM model, right now in Intel or AMD-based NAS, we also support to reduce RAM requirement to utilize snapshot. As you can see from the slide, right now even a NAS with only 1 gigabit of RAM can also utilize snapshot. Okay. Yes, and of course the maximum number of snapshot can be stored in a NAS is still depending on how many memory it has. So for example, if this 15 watt NAS, your RAM size is 1 gigabit, the maximum snapshot per volume or LAN will be 16. And if the RAM size go to 2 gigabit, the maximum snapshot number per LAN and volume will go to 32. And we have doing this improvement because what we as a storage vendor, we believe that is very important. It's critical for us to provide our solution for both home user and business user to protect their data from ransomware alike. So this is the reason why now most of the AMD or Intel-based NAS, when they being shipped out, they already have the snapshot function built in, even with 1 gigabit of RAM only.
Well, this is very good because a few months ago we made a video on YouTube telling users to upgrade their RAM to get snapshot protection.
Yes.
But then right now we are able to lower this limitation to only 1 gigabyte, so you don't need to upgrade your RAM and you can enjoy this additional protection.
Yes, I think that's the duty as a storage vendor to provide a complete solution for our customer.
Very true.
Okay, so next slide, I will show the concept regarding what are called a snapshot outside of volume, which means why we have choose to store snapshot in storage pool rather than inside a volume like PCIe SSD. So as you can see from the chart, when we store the snapshot outside of a volume, which means we can better control the space using by snapshot. For example, you can assign a 6 volume for 3 terabyte, and the remaining space can be utilized by snapshot. So compare with, for example, PCIe system when you have a 3 terabyte of volume, both data and snapshot are stored together, and sometimes you just cannot write new data because the volume is already full of snapshot. We provide a better and easier way for users to manage their space of storing snapshot. And also from the chart in the second and third bar chart, you can see that we also provide a very flexible solution. If you're using SIG volume, but you don't have enough free storage port space, you can easily transfer your SIG volume into a thin volume, which size is only calculated by the actual data usage. So from the third chart, you can see that if we transfer a SIG volume into a thin one, it will have more storage free space to store more snapshot.
But if you're using this function, you're using a thin volume, you have to pay attention to your storage usage, right?
Yes, that's correct. So that's why we also have very focusing on promoting the idea regarding guaranteed snapshot space. If you previous user, this term is saying as a snapshot reserve space, but right now we just rename it to guaranteed snapshot space and provide a more easy UI for user to understand how this method works. Is that it will help you to control your space of storing snapshot while using with thin volume. Because as you just mentioned, thin volume space usage may grow even may grow well controlled. But if we have a guaranteed snapshot space, we can ensure that there always has space remaining in the storage port to store snapshot, and those snapshot will not be affected by storage usage.
So in this way, we guarantee there is a space for snapshots, so even the file are growing in the volume, so the snapshot won't be affected. So in this way, we can keep those backup safe outside the volume.
Yes, actually, from our customer, we have heard a case that he using a thin volume without guaranteed snapshot space, and when the ransomware attacking the NAS just keep writing all the encrypting data, and the snapshot has been deleted accidentally, so the customer cannot recover its data. So this is one very important case that we wish to keep this guaranteed snapshot space and promote it to more users, because we believe that this feature is very important to protect your data from ransomware attack.
So if more data are written into a volume, the remaining space in the pool will be less and less.
Yes, if you're using thin volume.
And if you don't have enough space, they will start deleting these old snapshots, right?
Yes.
So in the end, you will have no snapshots.
Yes.
So that's very bad.
Yes. And also, right now in 4.3.4, we also have a global setting that we force the system to not delete a snapshot even storage pool is full. So that's also another method that our customer can utilize to protect their data against ransomware when using thin volume.
Brilliant, very good.
Okay. So after introducing those fundamental feature, let's go back to management level. Go to the management level. So as you can see that right now in this new 4.3.4 version, we have renamed Snapshot Storage Manager into Storage and Snapshot, and we have provided a dedicated snapshot overview page. In this page, you can see all your volume and long, whether they are protected by snapshot schedule or have snapshot backup. And so that we hope those improvements can help both business user and home user to better understand the protected status regarding volume or long inside storage pool.
Actually, I think it's very important because we are lowering those hardware limitations for using snapshots. So more and more basic users or users without all these technical backgrounds will start using snapshots.
Yes.
And providing a simple interface for them to understand what's going on is very good.
Yes. For example, you can see there is a face on the interface, and if all the volume and long are protected by snapshot, it will become smile face. And also, if you have snapshot backup, it will become a happy face. Okay.
That's very interesting.
Okay. Okay. Let's move to the next part. Besides from storage and snapshot, we also integrate different R&D team because we believe that in the finally user will all using their data in the file station. So we believe that to integrate snapshot with file station is very important. And from the slide, you can see that right now in 4.3.4, we will provide a file station snapshot direction feature, which allow user to easily browsing different snapshot version in file station directly. Not even browsing, user can also just drag and drop and to recover the data from snapshot folder directly.
So in this way, those are actually all snapshots, right? On list on the screen on the slides, but it's just in the operation, you just feel like it's a normal folder. So you can drag files and drop it to restore it.
Yes.
Just like a folder. There's no difference.
Yes, we believe this way, even home user can utilize our snapshot feature very well.
Good.
Okay. So besides from the local snapshot feature, we also have a lot of improvement in regarding snapshot replica, snapshot backup, because we believe that snapshot as a fundamental data protection solution is still need to pair with a proper backup solution. So in 4.3.4, we have also renewed the snapshot replica interface, so user can easily manage their snapshot backup plan. But the fundamental function is still the same. The user can back up the whole volume or long with snapshot to a remote NAS. And in the remote NAS, the backup data will call snapshot file, which user can recover the data from the file directly. And finally, a snapshot file can also be backed up to a third NAS, which also help business user to secure the data, even the one layer of protection.
Actually, this is very important, but a lot of people don't know about this concept because your data need to be backed up. Your backup also need to back up.
Yes.
So it can form a complete protection of your files.
Yes.
So this is the concept. You back up a file, you use snapshot to protect them, and the snapshot needs to be protected also.
Yes. And right now, since 4.3.4 beta is already released, we already heard some users are using Intel or AMD NAS, but they have purchased additionally our NAS to work as a remote snapshot backup destination. I believe is a very high, very suitable solution because we can use cheapest NAS to be a backup destination of our daily usage NAS.
Yeah, that's very good because in this way you have multiple protection. You don't only rely on a single NAS.
Yes. And besides from this fundamental introduction, right now in 4.3.4, we have, as I mentioned, we have totally renewed the snapshot replica wizard, in which way, as you can see from the slide, now we provide more method and more schedule setting for the user to utilize our snapshot backup plan to utilize the snapshot replica solution. And for example, from the chart, you can see that as an IT manager, I can decide whether I want to have the snapshot replica job by schedule, manually schedule, or by if a local takes a snapshot, the snapshot replica job start and porting the newly taken snapshot to a remote NAS.
So with this way, I can manually do snapshots, or I can schedule a snapshots, and with this different scheduling and different options, we can periodically, automatically do all these backups and store more with less space requirement.
Yes, and also we have provided more flexible snapshot replica scheduling, which means user can flexibly decide whether they just want to start snapshot replica job at maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and jump the rest of 2 days, or whether just do snapshot replica job in weekend. So I believe the slow solution will help our customer have a more complete backup solution.
So more flexibility to suit the customer needs.
Yes. And for users who are interested in this snapshot backup plan and regarding our new snapshot replica interface, you can just download our 4.3.4 beta firmware.
All right.
Okay. And finally, when the snapshot replica job has been done and in the destination NAS has created a snapshot file, as mentioned, we also provide the user in remote NAS they can view the snapshot file in the file station directly. So which means they can just browse into the snapshot file, snapshot, and recover their data to the remote NAS, or even after recovery using the file station remote mount to drop those files back to the original source NAS.
Actually, this is very good because usually we will think that the remote NAS is only for storage, but now we are adding this management feature into the remote NAS.
Yes.
So you can also drag and drop the file you want from these snapshots and do some management features and just to be more flexible in this management stuff.
Yes. Okay, so after introduce all those features, I believe it's time for us to go into a demo to show user how our NAS can help them to protect against ransomware.
That's very good. Let's go. Let's go to a live demo.
Okay, So as you can see here is already NAS, which is 15.1a. And I just want to show you that first of all, let's just go to control panel and see this NAS memory is only 2 gigabits. And let's close this and open our storage snapshot. And you can see that even a NAS with 2 gigabit of RAM can utilize the snapshot feature. Okay, you can see that it has 2 volume here, and they all have a local snapshot. So here's a green smiling face, which say that all of your data is being protected by local snapshot. Okay, so the next experience is very exciting, and also I will suggest all of you do not try this in home, because we have now we have a PC that's already
You definitely don't want to see this.
Okay, yes, we surely definitely don't want to see this in our PC.
Don't try this at home.
Okay.
You have been warned.
Okay, so this is a PC we built in a separate network, and as you can see, this PC is already be affected by the ransomware WannaCry. Okay, so as you can see that some of our data here are all be encrypted, and if I press this exe file, it will show this, oops, your file has been encrypted. Okay.
Not good.
Okay, this is really bad. You see this, and right now I want to demo to you guys how our NAS can protect its data from the ransomware attack. So let's go back to the our QTS system first, and let's open the file station. Okay, in the file station, we can see that we have some working document already stored. And if I try to download, for example, this English review file, okay, you can see it has is a working download prepared. And next thing I want to do is I want to see I want to use Samba from this PC to connect it to the NAS and see if the data can be affected by ransomware. So right now I just open computer, maybe enable drive, and input the NAS IP we just saw here. This is working dot. Finish. Okay, you can see that the data we just saw, it started being encrypted. Yes, the data is already being encrypted on the NAS. This is why we call this ransomware is really very dangerous. So whatever you have using Samba or the other protocol connected to the NAS, not saying that our NAS is not secure, just ransomware is really powerful because as you just saw that I have inputted admin account and password, and this PC have acquire those information. So even the NAS cannot protect data without snapshot, because the data can also be affected.
Yeah, because you mount the share folder with like a network drive, so
yes.
It looks like a drive to the ransomware. So you got affected and encrypted.
Yes. So next, let's go back to this NAS interface and see if the data has been changed somehow. Okay, so you can see that the picture already cannot see the preview, and let's just find the file that we just opened. Okay, this one. So let's try to download this file again and see how it becomes after being encrypted.
I doubt you can open this file.
Okay. Oh, maybe I should just close this one first. Try to download again. Okay, you see, you can still open this file, but basically content cannot be used anymore.
No, I don't know what it's talking about.
Yeah. Okay, so right now I just want to show how we can using snapshot to recover this important working DOS data. So, but first of all, let's just disconnect this the NAS from this affected PC.
Okay. Yeah, you have to disconnect it first, or you once you recover, you will be encrypted again.
Yes. So let's just disconnect first. Okay. Okay, so let's now open this. We should see in the snapshot directory I just showed you, so that we can see which snapshot can be used to reverting the data. So here I already prepared a snapshot that contains the data that have not been encrypted inside this snapshot protection. So I have confirmed that I have a snapshot that can use to recover the file. So I just open the snapshot manager. Okay, in snapshot manager, I will try to find the snapshot I have kept with clean data, and I will just use the refer function and see if our snapshot can protect against ransomware. Okay, we have selected this snapshot and we choose this refer. Oh, this power still power all the way. It will just keep power every maybe 3 minutes.
Just want you to pay.
Yeah. So we're just using this refer volume snapshot function and check local revert. Okay, we can see now the reverting is already started and the system is mounting the snapshot back to the working data folder to recover our file. And it's also important that when our customer data being encrypted by snapshot by ransomware, we should always use this refer whole volume snapshot, because if you only restore some file, the other file will still remain encrypted or even can affect the other file you restore. So we will recommend if your NAS is being affected, you should always use refer volume snapshot. And right now, as I just talked, you can see the refer is already complete. It's complete in maybe just 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's pretty fast.
So let's go back to file station and see if the file has been retrieved correctly. Okay, so now as you can see, the previous picture can be seen again. So let's download this file again and see what happened. Okay, you can see the content is back, and our snapshot has successfully helped this user to protect against ransomware.
Yeah, the demo is very cool because you definitely don't want to try this at home because your precious data won't. You need to keep your data safe, and but a lot of people maybe want to see what's going on with this ransomware stuff and how we can protect them from it.
Yes,
very cool.
Okay, let's go back to the slide. Okay, so after this data protection session, we will next talking about our auto tiering improvement and the other improvement we did at 4.3.4.
So this is about the performance part, right?
Yes. So regarding performance part in 4.3.4, we continue improve the major feature that has been a lot of customers has to report that they feel this feature really helped them. This feature is a QTS auto tiering. So the way we are doing this because we believe that, as you see from the title, SSD is become more and more widely used while it's still very expensive. So more and more our NAS users starting to utilize our hybrid storage solution, QTS auto tiering. For those of you who did not heard of auto tiering before, from this chart you can see that it's a system mechanism that help you to allocate the hard data, those data that be frequently accessed to the SSD tier, while the remaining data will also be allocated to the HDD tier, which help you to utilize the SSD space while still enjoying a high capacity NAS storage solution.
So in short, QTS, the function of QTS is to automatically store the data you use frequently to a drive that's faster.
Yes.
So and the data you use less will be stored into slower drive.
Yes.
So it's guaranteed the speed. If there is a file, the database file, you need to access it every day.
Yes.
So it will automatically be moved to the SSD, so you can access the file very quickly.
Yes, because this feature gained a lot of positive feedback, so we believe it's time for us to continue improving latest 4.3.4. So before I introduce all the improvement, let's just see that the title show that right now we can use the QTS 2.0, which we provide in 4.3.4 to replace SSD cache. Yes, because as before, even we have a QTS solution, we believe that SSD cache and QTS all have a benefit and drawbacks. For example, SSD cache can cache all the writing data to the SSD space first, while QTS, some user may feedback that QTS only do data tearing when storage is idle or by schedule is not real time, can refer to the data access pattern. But in QTS 2.0, we try to solve this issue so that the user can enjoy all the benefit of QTS while have a same advantage as SSD cache. As we can see that the QTS advantage, including that when using SSD and HDD, both type of disk space can be utilized. While if you just use SSD cache, the SSD cache space will not be used to store data. And also the access pattern between SSD cache is quite fixed. It cannot be adjusted based on, for example, if I want to some folder, some key application to be boosted by the SSD drive, I cannot do that in SSD cache currently. But right now, we already allow QTS to have such flexible configuration.
So we improve QTS because we want to better utilize the full potential of SSD.
That's correct.
And also the solid state drive are more expensive than the traditional hard drive.
Yes.
So you want your investment to be better utilized. Right?
Yes. And as you can see in this chart, we have mentioned screenshot and random access pattern. Why this is important is because that before we observe that QTS when its data when SSD tier is already full with screenshot data, the bit file. Some critical applications such as database or, for example, backup software's metadata can no longer utilize the SSD tier storage space. And we believe that is one drawback of QTS because it cannot balance the usage between screenshot and random, which we believe is more important for business user. But right now in QTS 2.0, we offer the IO-aware QTS solution, which you can see that from the chart is in the blue block, which means that in SSD tier, we always reserve some space for random IO access. And this reserve space is being calculated and managed 24 hours a day, which means that whenever you have random access pattern, it can go into this reserve space if it has become hard enough, be frequently accessed or be used right from database to the NAS.
So the QTS 2.0 becomes more responsive.
Yes.
It can respond to the user needs more just in time. So you don't need to wait until the data is being moved by the system. The system is staying there for you and adjusting this data between SSD and hard drives nonstop.
Yes, and also when your NAS is accepting screenshot access and random access at the same time, our NAS will believe that we release reserve space. We are more focusing on the database or VDI application, which we will allow those random I/O can still be boosted with the SSD tier space.
It's getting smarter.
Yes. Okay, next, besides from our system automation, we also allow tiering on-demand solution for IT manager. As from the chart, you can see that in this QTS 2.0, the IT manager can freely decide which share folder or which ICAS line should enable QTS features so that the data can be moved to SSD tier, while the remaining data will be kept locking in the HDD tier.
So it's very good, and just like you mentioned, beside all this automatic mechanism, there's a way for you to manually control what data should be tiered, what data should stay in the code section.
Yes.
So you can, if there's working data you use it every day, you can assign that this folder should be Q-tiered. And if there's just some data, some photo you took during your last trip to the countryside, you can say, I don't want to tier this data,
yes,
because this is not work data.
Yes. So right now, even all of your access pattern is screenshot access, you can still use this feature to deciding which application, which folder should receive the performance boost from the SSD tier, while the remaining is not important. Just go to HDD. We implement this solution so our user can utilize can maximize their return of investment on the SSD they purchased.
Very good.
Okay, and finally, because we mentioned that we want to use QTL to replace SD cache, right now in 4.3.4, a normal storage pool can be directly upgraded into a QTL storage pool, whether by expansion unit, new QNAP expansion card, or you access free base on the NAS. Wherever SD or HDD is being inserted, you can all use the new upgrade to the QTL wizard to upgrade your storage pool into a QTL storage pool.
That's very convenient because previously the old way to do this is just to copy all this data out and replace all these drives and rebuild everything, then copy data back.
Yes.
That's very time consuming.
Yes.
So with this new feature, we can just hot migrate this into the new QTL.
Yes. Also, we have provide more models supporting on QTL. As you can see, that even Tower NAS, for example, 53B or 53A, those models can also support QTL right now. Okay.
Good.
And how can we replace SD cache with QTL? It's very simple because, as I mentioned, we have a QTL upgrade to QTL wizard. So you just need to start your SD cache online and then convert the SD you want to add it to the storage pool in this upgrade wizard. And finally, check apply and wait a few minutes, and your QTL and your storage pool will become QTL storage pool.
That's very good because it makes everything faster and more convenient.
Yes. And also, I want to promote again is that in this year QTS, we have cooperated with Minas to introduce the ISO solution. So all the AMD or Intel NAS can utilize this ISO solution. As you can see from the test here, we have using a 248 reload recommend NAS with QTL solution, and with a 40 gig ISO, we bring totally 118,000 IOPS. This is close to an inter-level all-flash storage solution. This is really a impressive performance for QTL for hybrid storage solution. And we believe that we are aware QTL and ISO solution. Our QTL can not only be used for file server, it can also be used on database or VDI deployment.
Yeah, you mentioned that we got a faster storage pool, but what kind of application are requiring this kind of fast speed storage pool, right?
Yeah.
And you just mentioned the database and the virtualization. What else?
Yes. So overall, our leading technology, let me just recap for a little bit. The advantage of using QTL 2.0 instead of SSD cache is that SSD space can also be utilized, while also you can satisfy both random or screenshot access with the QTL awareness and material on demand solution. And you just mentioned that how can we use QTL? You can use file server, mail server, web server. Those are traditional event trigger based application. And right now with this IO awareness and theory on demand, you can also use QTL on VDI hosting, database, or some business levels backup solution.
Sounds very interesting. And next, we're going to talk about something else because we have speed, we have data protection, and maybe we are adding more drives. Right?
Yeah.
We are adding more drives to store more data for our application. But then is there a way to decide what kind of RAID mode should we choose? Because as far as I know, using RAID 5 or RAID 6 for a lot of disks is not really that safe, right?
Yes. You're talking about one very important point is that in the latest trend of storage solution, we also understanding that our NAS capacity is become higher and higher because users need to store more and more data, and it becomes quite difficult to have a solution to strike a balance between capacity and protection. And right now, we just also introduced the enterprise levels RAID 15 and 16 into our all model series.
You have some numbers to prove that for more disks, RAID 5 and RAID 6 are not less safe, right?
Yes, because as you can see the title here, why as a PN I suggest RAID 5 is not suitable when more than 8 disks is used is actually basing on the public server home RAID calculator. Is as you can see that when you have more than 8 drives, the risk of data loss with a bit RAID 5 is more than 1% within 5 years.
That doesn't sound very promising.
Yes, as PN, I would strongly recommend that we keep this risk lower than 1% because customer data is very crucial and very important. And why this number, why this data fail risk is increasing as a disk and capacity grow is because when we have a RAID 5, it means that all those disks only have one disk protection. If this disk is failing and is starting rebuilding, another disk is failed, the whole RAID is failed.
Because when rebuilding the disk array, it's actually very writing intensive, right?
Yes.
You need a lot of time in writing all this data, so it increases the wear out of the hard drive, so it's more likely to fail at this time.
Yes, and also at this time, if you are using RAID 5 and another drive fail, the whole data is false.
Yeah, it's easy to fail at this time because all the remaining disks keep writing data and calculating all this, reading, writing. And if right now another disk fails, then
yeah, that's why we strongly recommend that you daily application or file server using RAID 6 instead of RAID 5. But actually, right now, except for RAID 6, we have understanding that our NAS, for example, our Rackmount have maybe 12 base, 18 base, or even 24 base. Those model, maybe RAID 6 is also not suitable solution. So we have introduced a RAID 15 and 16 solution. And as you can see from the slide, we QNAP RAID 15, the chance of data fail in 5 years have dropped compared to big RAID 5 is dropped from 6% to 0.6%.
it sounds better.
Yes, because you have separate different disks, as you can see from the right of the chart, is RAID 15 means that it separates different disks into different sub RAID 5 group. So even one disk is failed in the first RAID group, if a second disk is failed in another group, which means this whole RAID 15 is still workable.
That looks very good. And by this chart on the screen, I see there might be some also performance improvement with the RAID 50 and 60, right?
Yes, and here I also want to show you a finding we are now highlighting when implement RAID 15 and 16 is that when using a drive that have high performance, we have observed that with RAID 15 and 16, the performance can be increased compared to a big RAID 5 and RAID 6. The reason is that when you have multiple RAID group and this performance is very good, it will actually, all those RAID group will calculate the parity check separately and at the same time. So which means the run performance can be increased. And from the chart, you can see compare between RAID 15 with 3 subgroup and 1 RAID 5 with just 1 RAID 5 group. All of these are SSD, which means that this performance is very high. And we can see that RAID 15 have seen 300% random write performance increase.
So with the RAID 50 and 16, the parity check calculation is offload to different groups.
Yes.
So it can speed up the whole process.
Yes. In home level HDD, maybe the performance increase will not be so obvious. But for example, from SSD, we can see that RAID 15 and 16 is very suitable for example, QTS solution or even all-flash solution.
Very good. So with all these RAID modes available, so what kind of mode should I choose? What kind of mode should I recommend to users?
Okay. So right now, QNAP have provided many different RAID type, and as I previously mentioned, like RAID 5, for RAID 5 we generally recommend only for backup purpose. If your NAS is a general application or file server solution, we'll recommend you all use RAID 6. And next, compared to RAID 15 between RAID 15 and RAID 10. RAID 10, of course, it still have higher performance than write performance because it separates all of this into two disks into one group. So of course, the performance may be the highest, but as you can see, the capacity is the lowest in all because you need to sacrifice half of a total disk space to use as a redundant space. While to strike a balance between protection and capacity, we will recommend, for example, high frequency backup. You can start and use RAID 15, while for VDI or media editing, those both need high capacity and performance. We will recommend you can using RAID 16.
So all in all, the mode I should choose depends on how I'm going to use the Linux, right?
Yes.
So based on different usage, there's different modes available.
Yes. Okay. So next, some users may already wondering that we have introduced both Qt and RAID 15 and 16, and can those two features can be combined together? My answer is yes, because we already announced RAID 15 and 16 at maybe middle of this year, but we spend the rest of time we try to develop a solution so that Qt and RAID 15 and 16 can be utilized together. And thanks for our R&D team's effort, when we finally announced 4.3.4, those two great features can be combined together. So before, IT manager may always wondering why I want to have a high capacity storage solution or high performance storage solution. Right now, as you can see, with Qt and RAID 15, 16, we can have a solution that strike a balance and have both those advantage at the same time.
So actually, we are not just rolling out individual functions. We are rolling out a whole complete solution for you to combine different features and different capabilities to get the best results.
Yes. Okay, so let's just have a quick demo now to show how Qt and RAID 15, 16 can be used together.
Right, cool. Let's go to demo.
Okay, so you can see that this is a RAID command NAS. I just open storage snapshot directly. Okay, as you can see that it has a NAS host, and you also have two expansion unit here. And right now, let's go to this storage snapshot view. Manage. Okay. You can see that in the latest 4.3.4, this is our QNAP lab environment. We can combining the SSD on the host NAS with RAID 15 and the SAS disk on the expansion unit 1 as a second layer. And finally, for the SATA HDD layer, we're using the second expansion unit and also use RAID 15. And so this storage pool totally have 6 RAID group at the same time to utilize the QTS solution. So we just use this disk now, but if IT customer require, they can have a whole NAS host as a SSD tier, and the expansion unit as SAS tier, and the final expansion unit as SATA tier to deploy a super storage unit that is a hyper storage, but at the same time have very big capacity and have a great protection with RAID 15 and 16.
Yeah, just like I mentioned, we are combining multiple solutions into a big package that help our users to get the best results. So combining with our expansion enclosures, we are getting a bigger storage pool and better performance.
Yes. Also from this tiering on demand, you can also see that in this view, we can the IT manager can freely and in real time deciding which share folder should utilize the QTS solution. And you just mentioned we have integrated multiple solutions. So let's go open the file station right now. And you can also see that in file station, we can just right click one button to enable auto tiering. So you can see that multiple share folder, you not even need to open storage station. You just open this file station and you choose, okay, I want to enable auto tiering on this 222 folder, and you have icon tiering on demand has been enabled, and this folder will study if the data has been frequently used, it will be allocated to SSD tier.
And this is very good, I think, because if I receive some data and I think that this is important, I want it to be Q-tiered, and I can create a folder here, drop the file into it, and just right-click on the folder, enable tiering, and that's all.
Yes.
You don't have to do it in a separate window. Very good.
Okay, so that's all for our demo preparing for Red 15, 16, and Qtier.
Very good. So let's go back to our slides. Next thing, you are going to talk about how to further expand the capacity of our NAS, right?
Yes, here I want to introduce already exists function iSCSI VJ bar. The solution that we right now still don't have the other, maybe not many vendors provide a similar solution. So we believe it's very valuable for to promote it again, because we believe this solution is an expansion solution that can maximize our customer return of investment. Okay.
Very good.
So first of all, I just want to emphasize the idea that our QNAP NAS is different from the other storage vendor. For the other storage vendor, they will all support iSCSI targets, so the NAS space can share to the other device. But also in QNAP NAS, we support both iSCSI initiator and iSCSI target. So from the screenshot, you can see we can quickly utilize another NAS space back to this NAS, so we can transfer the space between different NASs. So allow our user, if you have a several QNAP NAS or even several NAS with different vendor, if you want, can use QNAP NAS to combine those space together to utilize all those space under unified interface.
And it's add more flexibility.
Yes. So some people may wondering what our QNAP iSCSI initiator supported. So you can see that because iSCSI is a standard protocol in the industry field, so our iSCSI initiator can be used along with the other international very famous storage vendors such as ENC, QNAP, Synergy, and QSEN. So if you have the other those storage unit and you have some free space have not been utilized, and you have maybe, for example, you have seen that QNAP NAS have a impressive feature, for example, Q search or Q filing, you can creating iSCSI target on those storage and mount those iSCSI LAN into our QNAP NAS to utilize our famous feature.
Very impressive. Very impressive. So all the spaces separated on different devices can be combined together on our NAS, can be better utilized, so there's no space go wasted because maybe it's just buried on a certain device for a very long time.
Yes, yes. And also here's another thing I want to mention is that our iSCSI initiator and target both support file-based and block-based iSCSI LAN. So because recently we know, for example, the other storage vendor has given up to maintaining block-based iSCSI LAN. We believe that for our so user may ask us why we keep both block-based and file-based iSCSI LAN, and why we recommend block-based LAN is more suitable for business usage. And the reason saying a snapshot is because we know file-based LAN is storing in volume. So if it is storing in the volume, it may have been affected by volume sometime. For example, in previous live streaming, we have also introduced this topic before. We have a live demo to show that when a volume has screenshot access pattern, the file-based iSCSI LAN will have a higher maximum latency. So we believe that this is a reason why we recommend block-based LAN for the business user, because block-based LAN is utilized the space outside of volume, so its usage will not be affected by the file system at all. So providing a more stable performance, and also it can be using with more advanced virtualization feature.
Yeah, during last time we talk about this, and you have some live demo showing us the latency stuff, right?
Yes.
So with block-based iSCSI LAN, it's independent outside the volume, so you get overall a lower average latency, right?
Yes.
So you can just respond more faster, and it's better for those database and critical usage.
Yes. So why I mentioned the difference between block-based and file-based iSCSI LAN is because right now our free JBar is choosing block-based iSCSI as a solution. So as you can see that previously I have mentioned that iSCSI initiator and target is a global standardized protocol. But why QNAP we have provided this FreeJBar, a more advanced feature, is because we not only just want user to share the space between different NAS as a shared folder, we want our user to share the different NAS space as a virtual drive, as a virtual disk, which allow you, if you have shared, for example, I have shared this A31S space to another maybe 82 NAS, I can share it as a virtual disk that user can create storage port on it directly and using snapshot feature or create media library. So all the functions that work on physical disk can also work through our virtual JBar protocol.
Very good. Add more flexibility. So you can decide what kind of usage you want to use and just allocate those spaces and nothing is going to be wasted.
Yes. And right now we have also planned to maybe feature for our customer want to consider between different expansion solution. We have a title called Replace JBar with FreeJBar. It's because that, as you can see, the FreeJBar is using Ethernet as a connection cable. It's not using the because the actual JBar port might be limited depending on model, and also sometimes it's not very secure because you always have one connection only. So with this Ethernet connection, you can not only choose between 1 gigabit, 10 gigabit, or even 40 gigabit. You can also choose whether to utilize our NAS port trunking solution. So, for example, this A31S can connect it to the X82 with 3 Ethernet cable. So even one Ethernet cable is down, the other 2 can still transfer the data. So the total storage is still unaffected.
So with Ethernet interface, the expansion of storage space will no longer be limited to the physical port on the NAS.
Yes.
And with multiple network ports available, you can connect multiple cables, provide redundancy in the port trunking stuff.
Yes. And finally, some customer is asking us how can we bring the highest capacity with this FreeJBar solution. And actually, this slide just shows that if you want highest capacity, you can combine both JBar and FreeJBar. So, for example, we have 8-bay NAS, but 2 connected with the JBar expansion unit and virtual JBar Rack NAS. The total raw capacity of this only one tower NAS can exist beyond 1 petabyte.
Oh, that's very impressive.
Okay, so that's the whole solution regarding storage destination that I want to introduce to you today regarding our latest 4.3.4. If we are interested in those topics, it's welcome for you to download our 4.3.4 beta directly from the firmware update in our QTS system.
Great. Thank you, Repo, for giving us such an interesting and informative walkthrough of all these new features and improvements. Thank you, Repo.
Thank you.
And please stay with us for a moment or two because we need to set up our environment for the next speaker. So stay with us. Thank you. Welcome back. And now it's my pleasure to have our product manager, Norman, with me. Hi, Norman.
Hi, Michael.
Last time you were here, we talked about the hybrid backup sync, right?
Yes, right.
So we are going to recap it a little bit, and maybe some of our users and the viewers doesn't follow us for the last episode. So we are going to talk about it again today.
Yes.
All right, let's go.
Okay. So QNAP hybrid backup sync is designed to provide the user with a more simple interface and a comprehensive backup and recovery solution. And with the powerful hardware design of the QNAP NAS, it also equipped with the 10 gigabit Ethernet. I think this equipment will let the user to embrace the highly efficient backup experience.
Because I know in the past we have a dozen apps for a dozen web services.
Yes, sure.
So now we are combining them together
into only one application.
That's very good.
Okay, and the story behind the hybrid backup sync is that we have discovered that people tends to preserve and protect the data by both the backup and synchronize. So we want to make that job more easier. So now we decide to combine the three key functions, backup, restore, and synchronize. People use the most into one single application, and that is the hybrid backup sync.
It's very good because these are all functions we are going to use for
the similar purpose.
Yeah, similar purpose for backing up to syncing files across locations.
Yes. So it aims to help people to reducing the process and the steps for user to build up their own data protection plan. And it also has another advantage, like because you only with a single location, you can reducing the resource usage, system resource usage, and you can also measurement your backup and sync job by one single block. So it means you don't need to switch between the applications. It's very noisy.
Yeah, usually for the old-fashioned apps with single purpose, you have to install a lot of stuff, switching between windows to get things done. But we are combining them together, combining functions with similar purpose, and for combining a lot of cloud services, and do it all together in a single app. You don't have to switch around one app for all your needs.
All your needs, yes. Okay, so for improve the security of the data retention, users normally will back up their data, and the more advanced user will want to back up their data to multiple locations. So based on this, hybrid backup sync support to let the user to back up the data to a local, remote, and cloud. So as a local side, it includes the storage space of the local NAS and also the external devices. And the remote means you could back up your data from the NAS, local NAS to a remote NAS. So the range may be from different building to different city, maybe different country. It's also okay. Yes. And talk about the cloud. Cloud nowadays are very popular. Yes, because they provide a stable network environment and coupled with the stronger computing power. So now the cloud service is highly accepted by the users. So based on this, hybrid backup sync has already supported many popular cloud services.
So with this, it's just like Ripple and Maya talking what we're talking earlier. We need to back up files, and those backup need to be backed up again.
Yes.
So you are building a multiple layer of protection here. With local, with remote maybe from next building or a city, another city or another country on another continent.
Yes.
And in cloud service. So all this protection are to better protect your files to be safe and sound.
So we can call this solution is a complete solution for the backup.
Yeah.
And the user also could use the hybrid backup to complete the mixed cloud solution. So you can combine the public cloud and your private cloud into its own mixed cloud.
So all this combined together, providing more flexibility to our users.
Yes, sure. Okay, so we talk about the smart backup. What is smart backup? It means the user to back up their data more efficient and secure. So hybrid backup sync has incorporated the three elements. The first one is the data reduction. So the hybrid backup sync will let user to do the data compression and also apply the file filter. So that will reducing the file number and the file size to back up to the cloud or even remote site. And the number two is the data security. Through the HTTPS and the client-side encryption, that can make sure your data is well secured during the transmission and the saving. And number three is the multi-version backup. It's meant to let you to back up your data into multiple versions. And that means you will have the optional choice while doing the restoring your data.
So with all these functions combining together, we will providing more efficient,
and secure.
secure and
Yes.
secure backup service, because you taking less time to do all this backup. You can filter files, so you need only less space for
Yes.
backup and more secure, and you have multiple versions available.
Yes. Okay, as we talk about the multi-version backup, here need to mention is the multi-version backup management. Because if you have many of the backup versions, it means it may result in the insufficient of your storage space. So based on this, Hybrid Backup Sync has two modes for the multi-version management. The first one is the simple version. The user could take use of this kind of configuration to set up by the number of version or by this for control their backup versions. And the other is the smart versioning, and user could to adjust the number of backup versions by the time interval. For example, you may keep more complete versions for the maybe hours ago or release near the days backup, and keep this version for maybe weeks ago or months ago.
So with smart version sounds like you are keeping more a longer backup with
Yes.
a less version, right?
Yes.
You can just keep for maybe for the last few days you keep more versions, and for the past month or the last year you keep less.
Yes.
So with less space and less version, but actually you are keeping a longer period of data.
Yes. So the user won't be confused about how to choose between the long-term backup versions or it may be consuming too much storage space.
Very good.
Okay, and with the 10 gigabit Ethernet, it will be the mainstream in the market. And now a user could use the priceable solution to build up their own enterprise level disaster recovery solution by our QNAP NAS. So what the feature can bring to the users? Number one is highly efficient data backup, and number two, recovery from the disaster in time. And number three, because you use your own NAS to build up this solution, so you don't worry about you can keep your sensitive or classified data on your NAS.
So it's very convenient, high speed, and you are building a private cloud, so all your data are more secure.
Yes.
And you're keeping all this compliance stuff in house. You don't have to worry about all this data is leaked out
to a public.
Yeah,
Yes.
You don't have to worry about that.
Yes. So let's have a demo.
Sure.
Okay, so in this demo, we will show how efficiency by using the 10 gigabit Ethernet for the backup job.
Let's switch to the English interface first.
Okay, sure.
All right.
Okay. So I will create a backup job to a remote site, and I have set up all the network environment. I will back up a 10 gigabyte data to another NAS with the 10 gigabit Ethernet. Here I have prepared one file with 10 gigabytes here. As you can see, now it's calculating the file size near 10 gigabytes. And I will want to back up this file to a remote NAS with the 10 gigabit Ethernet. Okay, and I choose backup now. And we open the resource monitor. We can see the network column. You can see the sent data.
Yeah.
We're up to 700 megabytes per second.
It's very fast.
Yes. And now the job, I think, is almost finished. Yes, it's finished. So as we can see, the result of the backup job, the average transmit speed will up to 700 megabytes.
Very fast. It's about 10 seconds or so.
10 seconds.
Very good.
So I can say this backup solution is very high efficiency. Okay, that's back to the slide. Okay, we have talked about the cloud service. It's very popular, but I need to mention two issues. It's very need to be deeply concerned. The first one is the cloud security. Because now you choose to put your data on the cloud, the security concern will be the major thing you need to take care.
Yeah.
So hybrid backup sync has provided three kinds of the encryption way. The first is the secure connection. Through the HTTPS, it can confirm your data is secure during the transmission. And the number two is server-side encryption. So your data will be encryption before it's stored to the cloud server, and it will be done by the cloud server. Okay, and number three is price encryption. I will call this solution will be the ultimate solution. Why?
Because the file are encrypted at your side, on
Yeah.
the private side.
Because above two solution, your data might be accessed by the cloud provider. So only this encryption way, you do the encryption before transferring it to the cloud. So it can be make sure your data can only access by yourself.
Very good.
Yes, and other issue can be concerned is about the transferring speed is very slow to the cloud, and also the high cost. Yes, so for solving these two issues, we have bring you the data reduction. And the data reduction contains the data filter. You can choose what data size, what kind of data you want to put on the cloud. So it can largely to decrease the size you want to back up to cloud. And after you choose this file you want to back up to cloud, and the hybrid backup sync can further help you to do the data compression. And it also can reducing the size of the files. And the number three is the sparse file detection. We have some mechanism can deal with this kind of file, and it will reduce the transmission rate and also the size of the saving.
I'll explain the sparse file a little bit. All right.
Okay.
Let me do it. Okay. The sparse file is like you just imagine a very big file, but actually contain very little data.
Yes, in some storage block.
Yeah, it may be just trying to pre-allocate all these spaces, but it's not being used fully. So it's just there's only a little bit data. So you only transfer all this little bit data to the cloud. You don't have to transmit the whole file because the whole file maybe in 80% or 90% is blank.
Yes.
It has nothing.
Yes.
So you won't have to transfer this blank block.
We only need to retrieve this block with the data.
Yeah, so that's the way we reduce the transfer size.
Yes.
Very good.
Okay, so we talked about sync. The biggest difference between the backup and sync, because they serve the same function to locate the data into multiple locations, but sync is help people. They can access the data, newest data in anywhere in anytime. So hybrid backup sync provide users to do the sync to the local, cloud, and remote, and with the three options. As we can see, the first one is a one-way sync. So it means I can share the file to you more efficient just by the one-way sync. And the active sync, user can through the active sync to grab all the data around the different file servers into the local NAS. And I can, after this procedure, I can measure the data centralized by the local NAS.
So it's like pulling data from different servers.
Yes. And number three is two-way sync. So it means I can co-work with you because our data are similar. Really, how do I say that? It's the same data. After I edit it, and you will get the the latest update.
Very good. So one way from me to you,
You.
or from you to me,
Me.
or exchange between us.
Yes, it's good for the coworker. Okay, and for the cloud sync, hybrid backup sync provides 3 modes for you could utilize the cloud service more flexibility with more flexibility. The 3 mode contains mirror, copy, and move. And what mirror do is make sure your data on the local NAS is the same as the cloud. So any change in the local NAS will take effect on the cloud. So it means you could manage your data on the local. It's more convenient than you to manage it on the cloud. Yes, and the second one is copy. You can replicate all your data to the cloud. So it means if you have some unexpected operation to a file, like you delete it, don't worry, because you have the copy on the cloud, you can recover it anytime. And number 3 is move. It's a special usage, like the user reluctant to delete their file, but they still want to access them. Then they can utilize the move function to keep it on the cloud. So it means you can have more free space on your NAS for other application.
So actually, just recapping what you just said, with all this backup origin and destination, and with different modes, backup, restore, and sync, we can really build a comprehensive and complete data backup solution and sync solution also.
For the cloud service.
Yeah, but
Yes.
maybe also between your remote and local NAS.
Yes,
So
sure.
it's like it's a total solution.
Total solution.
About data backup and the sync.
Synchronize.
So what kind of, can you give us a scenario or some kind of actual case about how hybrid backup sync is implemented?
Can be done or implemented.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see this slide, and it's a real case from our customers. The users replicate their own personal data from PC to our local NAS, and through the hybrid backup sync, they could do the sync and the backup to the external devices and also the remote NAS. And furthermore, they can back up the data to the cloud. So from this perspective, it means the user could access the data anywhere, and also keep the data is very safe because it's located in multiple locations.
So all these procedures and different backup steps are all set up in the hybrid backup sync.
Yeah, can be done by only hybrid backup sync.
Only by
Yes, you don't need a professional IT for you to done this. You can do it by yourself.
It's very good because you have multiple backups locally and to external devices, to the stars and to remote NAS and to cloud. So everything is combined into the hybrid backup sync.
Yes.
And all the settings can be done here in one window. You don't have to switch around.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, that's very good. So how should users get this app?
Okay, so you could download the hybrid backup sync from our app center, and also there has some introduction in the link below.
All right, very good. So go visit that link and just download the hybrid backup sync and see if it can fit your needs. I believe it can.
Yes, of course.
All right, thank you, Norman.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's finish Norman's part about the hybrid backup sync, right? So we'll have to pause here a little bit so we can set up our environment for next speaker. So stay with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. And I was just told that a lot of our viewers are eagerly expecting the GPU part about how to use the GPU in our NAS. But before we get that there, we have to introduce our panel manager Linus to talk about some other stuff about our productivity applications, right?
Yes, about our management solution.
All right, let's go.
Okay, so with our QTS 4.3.4 and within this release, we actually trying to solve more problem on the file management. So here we are again. The first thing we want to mention here is that what kind of problems that our daily workers will face in their office.
Sure.
Yeah. So we can categorize them into three ways. First is how to manage so many files that they store in so many places, maybe in the cloud storages or maybe somewhere remote NAS or other external devices. First is the manage problem. There are so many things. And second, even if you can solve the manage problem, you want to search them effectively, efficiently, and accurately.
Yeah, after you categorize them into different folders, there should be and must be an easier way to locate all this.
Yes.
Or just you take a lot of time categorizing them, but you are not able to locate them. That's also a problem.
Yeah, that'll be frustrating. And in the last part, as you said, will be the categorize. Let's say if you've done manage and search list time, you want to manage, categorize them into a good way that you can find it easier when the next time you're trying to reach them again.
Sure.
So these are the three problems we face, and we find there's a common point for them is that these are problems that if people are asking you to do it at once, and you may think it's fine, and if people are asking you to do it 100 times, and you feel like you're dying.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so our basic idea is we are integrating all our solutions together, and with our file management solution, we can solve all these problems within one single click. Yeah. So basically, we have these four members in our, let's say, file management total solutions, which will be File Station, our old friend, and we new introduce our OCR converter, which stands for Optical Content Recognition, that can easily recognize the text content in images, and which make our image being searchable and editable when you are trying to do something more, how do you say that? When you're trying to do more things on an image file with text.
Yeah, you can reuse this text in the image file.
Yes, yeah. And of course, we're being pretty familiar with our QSearch and QFiling, which will do the search and archive part, but they become even more powerful this time with QTS 3.3.4 release.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's go through them.
Yeah, let's go through them. So I would like to go through them with the way that with the problems that I've been facing every day.
Sure.
Okay, so each day when I'm entering my office, the first thing I'm going to do is, of course, checking out all the mails and finding out if there's anything immediately needs to be handled. And one thing could be very annoying is each working group are using different cloud storages because they are external partners or customers. One may be using Google Drive, the other one may be using Dropbox, and the others. So that could be very frustrating if I have to log in and log out every time I'm trying to reach all the files. So we are actually having these kind of solutions for this kind of scenario is that file station means to become the center of the file management, or let's say the center of everything. So we are connecting 8 different cloud storages with QTS 4.3.4, including our Google Drive and Dropbox, which will be mentioned. And of course, the Amazon and Box that also many people are using that. And besides cloud storage, we have remote NAS. We can use Samba, FTP, and WebDay, this kind of, so we can actually connect 2 NAS together or even more, and using exactly one single interface to manage all the files. And the other files stored in the external devices are also available with our releasing QTS 3.3.4. A cool thing here is that we are supporting Blu-ray DVD players, readers, I would say that, and also mobile devices, which means our mobile phone and iPad will now be accessible if you just simply plug in your lines in our file station, and it will just shown as you see in our left part of the screen. It will be on the left panel of file station. You can just drag and put everything out or in.
This is actually very good because we used to only use file station to browse local files in the NAS.
Yes.
But now the file station is one-stop central.
Yeah.
When you are going to read or browse or drag and drop copy files from not only local NAS but remote NAS, cloud space,
Yes.
and all these external devices.
Yes.
So it's like central for all your needs.
Yes, like all at the same time. And we can just go through this list. Is that on the left side will be all the cloud storages and external devices that QNAP QTS 4.3.4 now being supporting. You can see there are 8 different cloud storages and other 4 external devices. And compared with other brands that have been supporting similar solutions, they'd be a little lesser. Yeah, so again, we were certainly trying to put more if every fans that currently listening to watching us, we will want to urge them, if you do have been using some kind of cloud service, you like it very much and want it to be supported, please do let us know. Yeah.
Very good.
Okay, so after we solve this managed problem, the next problem is, let's say, as a product manager, I go to exhibition, to like a roadshow or something pretty often. So as we going on exhibition, we are not only handling our stands only. We want to know more about other companies and partners information that they bring up to this show. So often I will just use my phone to shoot or snapshot their backboard and trying to digest these content after I go home. Yeah, but there is a serious problem because I'm taking the photos on text. But how can that be searchable or editable after I go back?
Yeah, that's issue because the text in a photo are usually not searchable.
Yeah.
So it will be very difficult for you to locate all these photos just by the contents of it.
Yes.
You need to remember what day at what time I took that photo, and this might be a slight chance you will find it.
Yeah, and after all, you're taking all these photos. First, you're trying to make them searchable, and second, you want to find a place that is safe enough to keep them all. So we are actually introducing 2 things at the same time. The first, I want to recall our snapshot first. PM Repo, about an hour ago, he just mentioned how powerful can a snapshot be. So let's say if you accidentally just missing some file in file station, we want to recall that again. There is a quick access button now in the QTS 4.3.4 file station that you can just click on snapshot and drag from the left panel and select your target version and bring those files back. And let's say you make it like you easily make them back. Let's just take a look at how are you going to import all these photos. Again, our we can now access our photos and files in our mobile devices by just simply mounting directly into our NAS.
Yeah.
So for me, I can now just use to mount my phone connected to my NAS and drag everything into the NAS. And for the content that I want to be searchable, here comes the OCR converter. Yeah. So we will be mentioning after this process, all the image file can be searchable and can be editable, and later on, or archiving stuff will be much more easier. But I do believe these people will need more demo this time. Yeah. Okay. So later on, we'll be demoing 2 things. First is how are we going to convert these images and make them become searchable, and second is, as they become searchable, how are we going to edit them?
Yeah.
So actually, besides OCR converter, we are now providing this text editor. It's pretty much like a WordPad that you can see in your Windows or Mac.
And actually, the text editor is pretty much needed because we cannot guarantee the 100% accuracy of the OCR results, right?
Yes.
So if you need to proofread it or you see something wrong and you need to correct it, then there goes the text editor.
Yes. So should we just go to the demo?
Sure, let's go ahead.
Okay, so now we are add our QTS 4.3.4 desktop, and here you will see this OCR converter. And let me just mention here is that as you trying to install this OCR converter, actually you have to install text editor at the same time.
Okay.
As we say, you will want to edit something after the conversion is over. So we just bond it together. Okay, so let's start to use OCR converter with our some example. So this is the interface. It's pretty much similar as like Q filing and other applications that QNAP been designed. And so you will always find a create task on the top right corner. Create an OCR task. You can do it one time or be scheduled. I believe our fans have been pretty familiar. So let's see if we can find some OCR file image here that can be converted. Okay, here. So these are images with text. Let's just pick 3 of them, and you can see a little preview over here. You will have an idea on what you are selecting. Yeah. Okay, so 3 of them, and next. Cool. So the next conversion settings will be you're trying to let the system know what kind of languages you are trying to convert. So we are actually supporting English, German, simplified Chinese, and transitional Chinese. There will be a situation that one image actually contains more than one language.
That's possible.
Yeah, so let's say this image actually contains both English and transitional Chinese. You just check both of them, and you can. Next step, you have to judge by yourself that either English or transitional Chinese will slightly be more fill up more content in that single file.
So there's you need to decide if there is more English inside of this image or there's more Chinese inside the image.
Yes. So let's say this file is well, you are thinking Chinese or Chinese is more. You just simply swap.
Cool.
Yeah, and make it on the top, and the system will make it as the first priority. But our files, we're selecting only English this time. So
okay,
we just
no problem.
Give it in English, and the next selection will be the output format. Currently, we have 2 to be choose from, TXT or PDF, or you are greedy enough you want to make it both. Horizontal or vertical, this is quite intuitive. And download folders is the download path you want it to be saved. Okay, so that's it. Okay, let's recall the first problem we have tonight again is that there are things do once will be fine, but do hundreds and make it die. Here, let's say you have selected 100 files. You don't want it to, modify it one by a time. So we have this apply default settings, and everything your settings up here will be automatically applied down here to all files.
Convenient.
Yeah. And in case you are not so sure about what kind of files you have been selected, here is a little preview. You can still have a last look. And if you think everything's fine now, and you can just click next. Here is the last summary, and you find again. Okay, certainly these 3 files we think is fine. So just go apply. So now it's converting. So remember, we have each file is converting into 2 files. One is TXT and the other is
PDF.
Yeah. Okay. So cool. They're now down. We have these TXT files over here. So now on the left side will be the original image. You can see here is the PNG file. On the right side will be our outcome, our TXT. So you see here you can see here are still blue contents in that because they are still pictures, but for TXT, of course, there are no blue anymore because it's just plain text. And as we mentioned, in case, that happens all the time. There is something you want to modify within the TXT files. Here is open with text editor. So you just open it and modify it right away. And in case you want to save it, just click Files and Save, and everything will be performed as you expected, pretty much like a WordPad.
Yep, very cool.
Yeah, so this is our OCR converter and text editor for the solutions. This time will help everything be searchable and editable.
Cool.
Yeah, so shall we just go back to our slides?
Sure.
Okay, so basically we have solved our problems on managing and make it searchable and editable. And so the next step will be how to search it and how to file it. Let's say categorizing them. So that will be our two old friends, QSearch and QFiling. Cool thing about QSearch this time is that we are providing this color filter. So this idea is pretty simple. If you are expecting the images you're trying to search having more certain colors, let's say green, and you just use the color filter and select check green, and basically all the outcomes will contain lots of green for you.
Yeah.
And that could be extremely useful as you are, let's say, going out and shooting for night scene. You're expecting more black, so you just check out the black.
And last time you demo this feature, you mentioned that you can even mix two colors.
Yes, that will be extremely useful. Again, yeah, you're going hiking, so we have green and blue together, blue for the sky, green for the grass. Everything will be just come out as you expected. That's for QSearch. And last thing will be QFiling. QFiling is the automatic tools for you to categorize everything in the order that you want it to be. So, yeah. I think that people will certainly get the idea as they are choosing from the you just simply have to choose the source and the destination and how you want it to be categorized. And
maybe by the metadata or by the file modified date.
Yes.
Like that, and you can easily categorize them into different folders, into different types.
Yes.
And for then next time, if you want to search for one, you will easily be accessed.
Yes, exactly. So that's pretty much how we are handling this problem from manage search to categorizing QNAP QTS 4.3.4. So you see from file station, we are managing everything in one single clean interface. And for search, we have QSearch now empowered with text editor and OCR converter, make everything searchable and editable. And last will be QFiling, categorize everything in the order that you want it to be.
So it's the whole process in a single NAS in the QTS 4.3.4.
Yes.
So you manage the file, copy them to the NAS, make them searchable, make them editable, then you file them. So next time you want to access them, they are right here waiting for you.
Yes, exactly.
Very good. Thank you, Linus.
Thank you, Michael.
And that pretty much sums up our productivity and the file station introduction, right?
Yes.
And it's you that told me that a lot of people are expecting our GPU.
They are knocking on the door.
Really?
Yes.
All right. So let's get started with that part. But please stay with us for a moment or two again, because this introduction involves more technical stuff. We need a little bit more time to set up the environment.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
So it's worth waiting.
All right. Stay with us. Thank you. Welcome back. Thank you for waiting. Now I have our product manager Alfred with me. Hi, Alfred.
Hi, hello, Michael.
And yes, we are going to start talking about the GPU part, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So when YT was here earlier, and we talked about the possibility of introducing a GPU, an independent graphic card into our NAS. And as far as I know, you are the product manager for the virtualization station, right?
Yes.
So what's the idea behind the introducing GPU into our NAS? What's good for what's the advantage of having it in the virtualization station?
Yeah. Okay. So as I know, for the virtual machines, actually we using the CPU to render the graphics display. We don't think this is a good way, because if the application is intensive, aggressive, and then you will see the display is not that good enough. So that's why we think about if we could have a discrete GPU card attached to the VM, and then maybe we can use the GPU hardware acceleration to improve the display. So based on the same idea, we would like to use the discrete GPU card support QTS other functions such as HD station, linear station. Those has some multimedia, the graphic computing request. So we think if we can put those graphic card into the NAS, and then those applications can be supported by hardware acceleration together.
So actually, the advantage of a CPU and a GPU are different, right?
Yeah.
So there are different fields they are good at. So utilizing the special abilities and the advantage of a GPU can do more in our NAS.
Yeah, because the GPU cards are constructed for those kind of massive parallelism application, especially for the machine learning or the deep learning or the very popular AI kind of that. So if we are going to run in kind of these applications, I think the GPU will be suitable than the CPU.
Very good.
Yeah. So let's see. If we have a powerful computing capacity, I mean the discrete GPU put in the NAS, actually, just I mentioned, is expand our applications such as the HD station, learning station, and also if you have kind of video or the photos data in NAS, and then we can use the transcoding, use our discrete GPU, the hardware solution to help us to do the transcoding, and then it's to make that more efficient. And also, as previous, we already have a virtualization station, and then we allow the customer to use the discrete GPU and connect to virtual machines. It's also the same as the applications for the QTS and the NAS.
We're providing more possibilities, right?
Yeah, exactly. To suppose the more applications and then allow the customer to leverage the GPU to do more.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah. So as saying, for those kind of a GPU, we can use that in the virtualization station and also HD station, learning station, and how accelerated transcoding. So in the following, I would quickly to introduce the HD station, learning station, and also virtualization station. Yeah. So for this GPU card supported, right now we are targeting at a more high-end NAS model, which is the 1685. 77 is based on the AMD Ryzen and also 89 Recama series. It's more high-end because we think about for kind of this GPU user scenario, it will be based on more powerful NAS. So those three NAS we are targeting first. Yeah, and also those kind of graphic cards has a GPU output. So that means for HD station, which requires the HDMI output, they can also be supported. Yeah, and then we can leverage the GPU computing capacity to run in those applications.
Good.
Yeah. So so where we can set up these graphic cards, actually in the QTS, you can go to the control panel and system, and then hardware, you will see this new items called graphic cards. So if you wanted to use the HD station, learning station, or the virtualization station, you have to set up here. And then this one thing you have to be aware that it's only for the QTS or the virtualization station use. You can just choose one of them at one time. Okay, so I just want to show a real demo where we can set up this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let's
do the
demo. Thanks. Okay, as you can see right now, this is a 77 model. And then you can go to the control panel. And this control panel, we see hardware here. Okay, as you can see, here is a graphic card. So after you click that, you can see right now I'm attached the NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1050 graphic card here. And then we can see right now the usage of the memory and also the GPU and the fan speed and also temperature. So here you can assign resource to HD station, learning station, or the virtualization station. Those two you have to decide in the first time. And then when you want to switch that, you have to assign again, and then you may have to restart the NAS again.
No, you cannot do two things at a time, right? Just one.
Yeah, just one at
all
one
right.
time. Yeah.
Well, it's still powerful enough.
Yeah, but on the other way, if you have two graphic cards, that means you can set one by one for that.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go back to the slide. So in the following, I'm gonna to introduce the HD station and also linear station.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So when we introduce the graphic card into the virtualization station, you just mentioned it can be just only be mentioned assigned to the virtualization station or the HD station, right?
yeah, this is separated.
So when we are adding the graphic card into the virtualization station, what kind of scenario or applications are you expecting that our user will be doing?
Okay. For the virtualization station, actually it's based on virtual machine, which is you can run in the Windows space, Linux space, or even the Unix space. It's more like advanced usage. So for example, in the Windows, let's say if you're gonna have a video editing kind of Adobe Premiere, or maybe your photo editing like Lightroom kind of that, actually you will find out there's a settings called whether you want to use the graphic card to do the rendering. Yeah. If there is no any graphic card with the virtual machine, that means we have to use the CPU to do kind of this massive parallelism processing. So if so, I mentioned this is not that good for the CPU because CPU is actually is focusing on the sequential instruction processing. Not that good for the graphic or images progressing. So that's why if we have a graphic card, and especially for those kind of a purpose, it will be more useful and effective.
And last time you were here, we talked about how to evaluate the performance of a hypervisor, right?
Yeah.
And with this we can better know how the virtual machine is doing, how its performance to distribute these resources more better. And with the added graphic cards, we can further enhance the feature and do more with our virtual machines, right?
Yes, exactly.
Let's go to our slides.
Okay, so right now I'm going to introduce what a HD station is. Okay, HD station stands for a hybrid desk station. It's very easy to understand because we provide several desks and how user can use that. It's very simple. We just need to connect the keyboard, mouse, and then monitor, and then just running as a PC. Yeah, it's very easy for the customer to adopt this concept, especially for the HD station. So this is about HD station architecture. As you can see, the HD station is running on top of the QTS, which is NAS firmware. And then there are 3 different desks, including the QVM. It's used to operating the virtual machines because we add a shortcut of virtual machine console. And then for the defense desk, it's about surveillance. So if you have installed the surveillance station and then you already connect some IP camera, and then you can use the defense desk to check or monitor where IP camera is. And also for the local display, is for the normal user who want to do some office-based application such as LibreOffice, or you want to just survey the internet or playback some or play some video music, you can use the local display desk. This is about HD station. Okay. So here's about how many applications we provide in the HD station, including QTS management. That means you don't have to prepare another, let's say, PC or notebook to connect your QTS or your NAS. You can just plug in a monitor, keyboard, mouse, and then you can use the QTS to measurement your NAS all the data or the checkboard settings. And there's the browsers and the Office tool, and even some of the multiple multimedia applications. Ocean KTV, you can sing the song. YouTube, you can see some of the video, kind of that. It's very easy to use. Yeah. So besides that, if you want to build a home theater system, I think NAS is also a good choice. I just need to plug in a discrete card and then use HDMI to connect to the amplifier or the home theater system, and then with the high resolution TV, and then it's like a home theater you can use.
All right, very cool. So Albert, I have a question actually. I believe some of our viewers may already know about HD Station.
Yeah.
And this time we have introduced the discrete graphic cards into our NAS. And you also mentioned the application in the virtualization station. So besides all this application we already mentioned here, do you think there's more possibility for further utilizing the graphic cards into our NAS than to invent something new? Maybe deep learning or machine learning stuff? Do you think?
It's possible. Actually, we are working on that actually. Yeah, because right now what we have is about HD station. Linear station is more close to the customer. Right now, we are thinking about AI or deep learning or kind of that applications, and then we may have to think about what kind of new features or new functions we can provide for the customer.
Yeah, just like you mentioned that I know that there is some project going on in the company also, but we prefer not to talk about it right now, right?
Yeah.
So we like to surprise our customers.
Yeah, I just want to say right now this is a way we are going for. Yeah, the first one is how to connect the discrete GPU, and then this one we already did. So let's think this we can do is that how we can go further.
Yeah, very cool. All right, let's go back to our slides.
Yeah, so the next part is about the Linux station. It's more a little bit advanced usage because this is based on the virtualization technology. Linux station is based on a container usage. So, okay, let's see. So for the Linux station, it's very easy to understand that we provide a dual platform system. The first one is about the QTS. I think everyone knows about that. And then for some of the customer, they may have do something in the Linux system, and then they can use the Linux station because right now we provide this distribution Ubuntu. So if you are a Ubuntu user, and then you can use the Linux station to do more because we provide a Ubuntu operating system for you. Yeah. So in the beginning, they say QTS and Linux dual platform. So the benefit of the Linux station is that we can direct access to the NAS data. Is because the container architecture is shared kernels, and then we already done something underlying. So if you in Linux station, and then you can just direct access the NAS data, and also in the let's say in the Ubuntu, this also have App Center. So which means you can use this App Center to install more applications you can use. It just like expand the usage of NAS. Yeah. And then by the way, this is also about the discrete card support. So as mentioned before, when we have a discrete card, and the Linux station can also leverage that. So if you're gonna to run some the hardware acceleration applications, or even some the multimedia playback, I think this can use in our graphic cards as well.
Because people would think that NAS are only for storage only. They may not know that it's feature rich with other multimedia application and with more possibility if you plug in a graphic card. So you can do more with our NAS than just simply a storage, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the same about the multimedia I mentioned before. We can go to the Ubuntu the App Center to see which is the playback I would like to use, and then also we provided some the built-in applications in the Ubuntu. So for example, the NAS folder we can direct access, and also some like Google Chrome browser and the YouTube kind of that is already built in there. So there's no any installation. You can just use that directly.
Very good. So we now know that we have a lot of benefit when we install a graphic card into our NAS. So is there any performance comparison or figures or numbers that can prove that it really helps if we install a graphic card?
Yeah, I just got some numbers for you. So this is about the transcoding performance. So let's say I have tested a video. It's a H.264 and it's a 4K video and duration about 3 minutes. As you can see, okay, let's see the first one, in the middle of the table. This is about 77 is the AMD Ryzen. And then they say when transcoding this video, it took it takes around 3 minutes 70 seconds. But if we added a discrete card, they say the NVIDIA GeForce GTX series, as you can see, it only takes 10 seconds.
So a huge difference.
Yeah, it's about 20 times. Yeah, and I also prepare another one is the 82 Intel i3 CPU. This is about the GPU inside the CPU and to take the software rendering. So it's about 4 minutes. Yeah. So they see when we have a discrete card, you can see this is a huge improvement about the transcoding performance.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Yep. Okay, so this is about HD station learning station, which is used in the QTS. The next section is about if we connect this GPU card into the virtualization station. I think previously I have done some presentation, but here I just want to let the customer who should not use that before. So what is our virtualization station? Actually, this is a virtualization platform, which means it allows the customer to run in the virtual machines on top of a NAS. So the virtual machine can be Windows, Linux, or Ubuntu kind of that. So the right illustration just shows how this architecture about the virtualization station. So running the virtual machine is very useful because you can integrate the storage and the computing together. And if we speak of the computing, it's not only about the CPU, but right now we can also integrate the GPU as well inside that. So after we have a discrete card GPU, so that means we can empower VMs with a higher processing ability and then support support more API like OpenGL or DirectX. It's more faster.
Very good.
Yeah. So here, just 3 steps for the GPU connection. Just want the customer know how we can connect these GPU cards. So first one is about install guest tool. This guest tool has to be installed in the guest OS. We use that to retrieve some information about guest OS. And then also it includes a VNC server, because if we're going to use the discrete card, and then we have to install standalone a VNC server inside there for the remote connection. And the second is about connect GPU card. In our virtual station, we have a UI and it says GPU, and then you can choose that and then click apply, and then we will connect the GPU card directly. And then last step is about you have to install the GPU card driver, for example, NVIDIA, and it depends on the guest OS version.
Yeah, the last step is just like you actually physically install a graphic card into your computer, then you have to install drivers.
Yeah, exactly. So when we have a GPU connect, I think here just let the customer know what we have done that. So the left side illustration is about when we have a discrete GPU, we just use the GPU path through from the physical layer to our guest OS. So the right side is that we can see that when we have a discrete GPU as a hardware acceleration, and then it will be offloading CPU utilization. So the left side is about GPU connect. It just costs 21%. But if there's no GPU and just based on the CPU capacity, it will cost 68%. It's around 3 times.
Yeah, it saves a lot of time for our users.
Yeah,
provide more flexibility and possibility and efficiency, so you can do more and better utilize the system resource.
Yeah. So when we have VM with the GPU connect, and then we can also access it via the remote access, which means it's about the web browser, and also the same, we can plug in the monitor, keyboard, mouse together and run it as a PC as well.
All right.
So let's see some of the demo. I would like to show how to connect the GPU to a virtual machine.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, right now, the PCIe demo is a virtual machine.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. You see, right now is a NVIDIA GeForce GTS 1060, and then here is really VM because we can see the disk driver is about IO is already.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Okay. Sorry, it's been logged out. Okay, this is what I have. It's a 1277. So let's see the virtualization station. I'm using the virtual machines. I'll just stand here because it's already running. But I just want to show you. This is here. It's a GPU information here. You can click that, and then to see. Okay, this is about 1060 GPU here. So because it's running, so I just choose another one to introduce how to connect that. So let's see, this is a VM, and then click here, and then, oh, sorry, this is about Chinese. I need to change that. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Here is also a GPU, and then we can click here and edit the GPUs. So all the GPU cards will be listed here. You can choose one of them, and then click apply. Yeah, because they already chosen. Yeah, and then we can use that GPU directly. So let's see if I'm gonna to running kind of let's say the premium. Adobe Premium, we'll see there's a render option, and then we can choose because this is a NVIDIA graphic card, so we can choose a CUDA to use in the rendering. Yeah, I mean, it takes a little bit of time to open that.
No problem.
Yeah. So we think for these virtual machines is more advanced features because it depends on the different guest OS. Yeah, this is about video editing. But for the others people, if they are working on some academic case because they are using maybe the GPU or the CUDA kind of this library, and then they may use the VM. It's more suitable. Okay. It's just a new project. Okay, as you can see here, normally if there is no any graphic card, you can choose the Mercury playback engine software only. But right now we already have a GPU card here, so let's see, we can choose the playback engine GPU acceleration CUDA. Yeah, CUDA is it's proprietary for NVIDIA.
Yep.
So it's very simple. When we have a GPU card, then you can enable this option for rendering.
Cool.
Yeah.
So besides all this multimedia or video editing application, have you heard about any interesting or some kind of customer scenario that you have never thought about? Personally, you believe you never thought about? Interesting things you can share?
I heard about someone just using the VM with a GPU card for gaming, and also the Bitcoin mining. I think it's very popular now.
Yeah, that I heard of before.
Yeah.
But these are all the tests that are better for graphic cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I heard a lot of people buy a lot of graphic cards and do mining of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
All right, that's interesting enough, I believe. But and anyway, with the graphic card, we have a more powerful NAS that can do more for our customers. And we are actually in development and preparation for more interesting application of the powerful graphic cards.
Yeah, it's on the way.
All right, thank you, Alfred.
Thank you.
And that's pretty much about all about the virtualization station, Linux station, and the HD station, and our graphic card.
Yeah,
integration.
transcoding.
Transcoding integration. All right. Thank you, Alfred.
Thank you, Michael.
And we'll have to pause here for a minute because we have another speaker on her way. But we need to set up our environment for a bit. So stay with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Users, right?
Yes.
All right, they are especially useful.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go ahead. So what are you going to talk about today?
The first one is the QB helper.
All right, QB helper. If you are a regular viewer of our program, that you may already know.
Mm-hmm.
But some of you may just join us. So let's talk about again QB helper.
Yes.
Because it really helps solving a lot of problems, right?
Yes.
Right.
The QB helper is QNAP video helper. So you can understand it literally is a tool that related to video. So why we provide QB helper and how QB helper can give users a better video experience, I will talk it later.
All right.
In the past, we usually play videos on NAS, but it will occupy the CPU resource and impact the NAS operations. So you may find that when you play the videos, it will lag very often, so you cannot watch it fluently. And there also has one problem that some formats cannot be supported on video station, such as QTS 4.3.3, the audio codec cannot be supported.
Yeah, that's not because we don't want to build it into our system. It's because there are copyright license issue, so we cannot do it. But with help of QB helper, we can successfully play all these videos.
Yes. So here we provide the QB helper. It will allows you to stream the video files from NAS to your computer and using the VLC player to play these videos. And because we cooperate with VLC player, so any format that the VLC player supported, we also can support.
Okay.
Yes, and before you using the QB helper, there are some requirements. Like if you use a video station, the version need to be 5.1.3 or later versions. And if you use the photo station, the version need to be 5.6.0 or later versions. And finally, if you use the file station, the version need to be QTS 4.3.4.
Okay. Last time you're here, you demonstrate how to install QB helper.
Yes.
But today we are not going to do that, right?
But I will show you where to
that's okay.
download.
Yeah, where to download. Because last time you showed us a complete procedure, but for installing QB helper and the VLC media player.
Yes.
But actually, I believe the introduction and the tutorial building into the app is pretty much very good. So then you will have no problem following the guideline.
Yes.
Okay.
So now I will show you where to download the QB helper.
All right, let's go to the demo part, but just show you where to install.
Yes. And when you enter in the video station, here we'll have a message that guide you to our official website to download. And now because I have downloaded the QB helper, so there won't have the message.
Okay.
But if you want to download the QB helper, you can go to our official website and go to the QTS 4.3 and then the utilities. And you can choose the QB helper. And according to your operating system, you can choose the Windows or the Mac. But if you want to choose the Mac version need to be 10.10. And after you download the QB helper, you can go to the Test Manager to check it.
Okay.
Yes. And let's go back to the video station. And after you install the QB helper, the system will provide a message that guide you to download the VLC player if your computer doesn't have the VLC player.
Okay.
And after you totally download the QB helper and VLC player, you can go to the More and go to the Settings. And you can go to the Miscellaneous. Here we'll have a item that show the always play with VLC player. but now I will disable it because I want to compare using VLC player with not using VLC player.
Okay.
And apply. And this is our demo video, and let's check the information. The audio codec is AC3, and the video codec is H.624. And now let's play it originally, not from the VLC player. So here we'll show the message that a video station doesn't support this audio format. So let's now using the VLC player to play this video.
That's just because of the license issue we just mentioned, right?
Yes. So it can be played normally.
With the sound.
With
the music. Okay.
Yes. So this is the QB helper.
Alright, very good. Let's go back to our slides.
Yes. And the next one I want to introduce is QBoost.
Okay, our old friend QBoost.
Yes. And go.
And yeah, let's go. So we have already released the 4.3.4 beta, right?
Yes.
And in the first version of beta, some of our users give us feedback that there's some kind of glitch inside the QBoost, so we fixed the robots, right? Right now.
Yes.
It's now fixed.
Yes,
okay.
it's fixed. So at first, I believe that everyone has this situation. You download and delete many applications in your cell phone. And as you repeatedly doing this action, you may have many junk files in your cell phone. And we usually like to download many applications. And using this application will cause the cache memory. So when your cell phone is full of cache memory, full of junk files, and many unnecessary files, so it will occupy the memory. So after using for a while, you may think that your cell phone works very slowly and may lag very often. So this situation not only happens in cell phone, but also in computer or even in NAS. So in order to solve these problems and help users can easily recycle their storage space, here comes the QBoost. And they're including 3 functions. The first one is optimize and clear and application scheduling. And I will introduce them separately.
All right.
Okay. The first one is optimize. It means that it will clean the cache memory and the swap memory in system. And here is our UI. And you can see that when you click the optimize, there will a rocket that fly to the sky.
Okay. Cute enough.
Yes. And the next one is about clear. It means that it will delete the unnecessary system files, such as the damaged system files, and then you can also to empty the recycle bin. But these files will be permanently deleted. And here's the situation.
Okay.
That when there are really too many applications that take up your memory, so you use the optimize, but it cannot release cache memory effectively. So what can you do?
Yeah, we provide a lot of useful applications,
Yes.
right? And you want to install them all, but anyway, your system resource, your hardware limitations are there. You cannot unlimitedly install everything.
Yes.
So you need to have a way to manage them, to stop them, maybe scheduling them. I guess that's application scheduling.
Yes, right. So that's application scheduling. It means that you can schedule to enable or disable your applications. For example, I really like to sing, so I download the Ocean KTV, but I don't have free time to use Ocean KTV on weekdays. So I just only have time to use it on weekends. So I can choose to disable it on weekdays.
Okay.
So now I will demo for everyone.
Okay, let's go to our demo. So with application scheduling, when you are not using OceanKDB, you can just disable it,
Yes,
right?
disable it.
And you can set a schedule to automatically disable them for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, show us.
Now, in the past, if we want to check the applications or system status, we will go to the resource monitor.
Yeah, that's the old way.
Yes, and here you can see the total usable memory and the memory you have used. And here you can also go to the process to see all the applications, the status and memory, the CPU usage. But this is for some technical. People have a technical background. They can set some command line to disable the applications. But now we just need to use QBoost to manage your applications. And here there are the functions that I mentioned. The first one is the optimize. And here you can see that the blue line is about the available memory. And the green line is about the free memory.
Okay.
And here let's try optimize.
So the little blue icon right next to the memory text, if you move your mouse over there, there will be a description saying about what's available memory, what's free memory, right?
Yes. Here also have a tooltip.
Wow. All right. So while we are waiting for the rocket to rock out the sky, it's completed.
And here I want to explain because some users may confuse why their free memory decrease, even they didn't do any actions. Normally, NAS will use the free memory for caching and for caching.
Okay. Anyway, temporarily storing something, right?
Yes. So the free memory decrease is a normal situation, but sometimes, in some situation, the system will use swap memory. But when system use swap memory, it will decrease our NAS system's efficiency. So our QBoost will become red to notify you that you need to use the optimize to reclaim more free memory.
Okay, I'll explain a little bit further here because swap memory means you have to temporarily store something into your disk so you can make more room of your physical memory, right? So if the files or the data are frequently exchanged between the memory and the disk, because we all know disk will be slower, right?
Yes,
so it will decrease the performance. So at this time, if this happens, the QBoost will remind you that you need to optimize your system.
That's right.
All right.
And the next one is about the clear. And you can click more to choose if you want to empty the recycle bin files.
So it's not checked by default, right?
Yes, not
If you want to empty it, you have to manually click.
Yes, and now I want to click. So I click clear.
So there are actually animations at both sides. There's a racing car. And to the left side, the QBoost is holding a broomstick.
Yes.
Cleaning everything.
Yes, and here are the
results.
Yes. And this part is about the application scheduling. And here you can see that there are the top 5 applications by memory usage. And you also can click more and to see all the applications in your system. And you can click the title to do sorting. Here there is from the large to the last.
All right. So right now in the memory, QSync is consuming most space.
Yes.
Right.
And here you also can see the status such as the OS enabled, OS disabled, and you can, according to the memory and the status, to do the later action such as set schedule, stop, or remove it. And here there are some icons that doesn't have the trash can. So it means that there are the system service. It cannot be deleted.
All right, that makes sense. But because if a system service can be deleted, then the NAS will be broken.
Yes. So now let's click the icon, which is very like calendar to set schedule.
All right, Ocean KTV, let's go.
Yes. And here the first you can click the enable schedule, and I want to disable from weekdays. I just enable on weekends.
Okay.
And click apply. I'm waiting.
It takes a little bit of time. Little bit of time.
And I also want to set schedule for QSync.
Oh, let's just show our users that little reminder.
Yes.
Sorry if you missed it, but it just said that Ocean KTV is. Yeah, you just said the Ocean KTV is disabled. All right, this time I'll add more quickly so they can see.
Okay, the QSync. For example, I want to disable it from today, and also click apply.
I'm doing this just so you can see the message.
Waiting. Disabled.
Now you see the message.
And we can go to the overview to see that these two applications that we say scheduled. And here there's a time slot. It means that you can see that the time that these scheduled applications is enabled or disabled. And this two means that in this time, these two scheduled applications are all enabled.
Okay.
Yes. And the 0 means that these two.
Nothing is enabled.
Yes.
Okay. Very good.
And we can see that the free memory becomes more.
Yeah, it increased from about 25% to 31%.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's go back to our slide.
Sure. So give us a quick recap about what QBoost does.
Okay. The first one is about optimize. It will release memory and to increase the operating speed. And the next one is about clear. It will clean the junk files to recycle the storage space. And the last but not the least is about the application scheduling. It will allocate the system resource more efficiently.
All right, this is very good because I know that most of our home users will buy a more entry-level NAS, right? They're not going to buy the 77 series. That's very powerful, but it's not very suitable for home users.
Yes.
So home user will buy a more affordable one, and they can use this function to control the resource distribution and make things more smoothly.
Yes.
And if they want to have some fun time at the weekend, they can enable Ocean KTV, and during the weekday, they can enable more productivity apps, right?
Yes.
All right, very good. So, with all we have today, we have talked about the our core idea of essence of storage, the speed, the reliability, and the backup stuff, and the productivity part, and how the file station and the OCR converter stuff.
Yes.
And the GPU part, Linus just told me that a lot of people are enjoying the GPU introduction. And we have talked about a lot, and this part is also about more for home users and multimedia applications. So with all these functions in QTS 4.3.4, we aim to bring our users a more complete and rich experience, right? All right, so on to the next slide. There it is. So not only a single or some of our models support the 4.3.4. We aim to open the support to most of our models, right?
Yes.
So what are they?
Including the Thunderbolt NAS series, Rack Mount series, and the Tower series.
So you see, there's really a lot of there, and not only AMD and the Intel-based NAS, and also the ARM-based NAS.
Yes.
Right, very good. So if you need a list of supported models, there's a link over there. So you can go to that website and find out if your NAS is supported. If it's not supported, and I believe it's a very good time for you to replace with a more powerful one.
Yes.
Right. All right. Let's sum up our whole program today, right, Claire?
Yes.
All right. Thank you for being here with
Thank
me
you.
till the end. And that's our program for today. But for Fridays, we have something more to talk about. So stay with us. Thank you for watching today. Bye bye.
Bye bye.